else.
So boxing legend and current DAZN commentator and pundit has said that Anthony Joshua should have a crack at America if he wants to become a global superstar. And this is what Sugar Ray Leonard had to say. It all boils down to what Anthony Joshua wants and what he believes in. You have to ask him the question, what do you want to be? How do you want people to remember you? Do you want to be just remembered here or global? I'm sure it's global. In America, they know the name Anthony Joshua, but they have not seen all him. There are a lot of boxing fans, millions of boxing fans, but they have not all seen what he is about yet. He is going down the right road. America will be the next key. I was in Cardiff for the Parker fight, so I've had a taste of the Joshua mayhem over here before Wembley. They absolutely love him. They support him, and I truly believe he feeds off that. He is getting better and better. He is doing what he's doing over here, but to recreate it in America, that is the key. That is the key and the purpose. So that is Sugar Ray Leonard's statement. So of course he's over here in the UK at the minute. Obviously he's going to be doing a commentary on Usyk and Bellew. So they have to ask him the question about Joshua, obviously because he's American, and how do Americans perceive Anthony Joshua? And as he says right there, people in America know the name, but they haven't seen all of Joshua. As in, they know the name, they may have seen some highlight reels, they may have seen one or two fights, but they haven't seen the growth of Anthony Joshua. They haven't seen where he came from to where he is now to see the improvements, to really judge him truly. So for him to say that for Joshua to become a global superstar, he needs to go to America. And I can see why he's saying that, that's for sure, because to crack America is pretty much cracking boxing, right? In the sense of going back, way back when, you see, Muhammad Ali was on top of the game. The global world knew him. Mike Tyson, the global world knew him. Lennox Lewis, the global world knew him. So I understand that. I do have to have a slight difference of opinion to him in the sense of this isn't the old days anymore. This isn't the heyday of American boxing anymore. And it's unfortunate that we say that because a lot of people remember the great fights at Madison Square Gardens and things like that. But unfortunately, because boxing is a dying sport in America, and it's unfortunate that we have to say that, and that is how it is. It's not a case of me being British and because boxing is really booming here in the UK that I kind of look at America and go, haha, we're better than you. It's not about that. It's about the fact that it's been obvious for a number of years that boxing is dying, and a lot of it is down to the heavyweight because of the Klitschko era, because people in America weren't really keen on watching Vladimir Klitschko because of his boring style. Vitaly Klitschko, people liked how he fought, but again, how often did these guys actually fight on American soil? Americans like to watch fights that's on their soil. That's how it is, and it's the same here in the UK as well. There's more chance of us watching on TV a fight that's on UK soil than there is for one in America or anywhere else in the world, depending on the time zone and of course depending on who's in the ring. But for Joshua to crack America, that's a real tall ask, because if their own heavyweight in Deontay Wilder, who's a WBC champion, if he's not doing it and he's had 40 fights in 10 years to do it, then what real hope has Joshua got? Now, he is over there in America, he has been recently over there in Miami. He's currently in Jamaica right now. But he has been touring around a little bit of America again and obviously getting his name out. And a few months ago, before the Povetkin fight, when there were on and off negotiations with Deontay Wilder, he was on Conan O'Brien and he was on The Late Show. He was at basketball games and, so he's getting his name out there. But do you really need America? Ideally, yes, of course. But ultimately, if you're earning 20, 30 million pounds per fight here in the UK, is it really that important? Ultimately not, because most boxers get into boxing as a way to cement a legacy, put a stamp on the sport. But once you kind of hit the high paydays, that's what becomes important. Money is what becomes important. And everything is strategized over, okay, that's great, I'm earning 20 million per fight now, I want to make 30 million. Why should I have to give my opponent X amount of million? Because that means that I'm making less in this fight than what I did in the previous fight. So there is that whole kind of thing. It's not saying he's greedy, it's just a business move, isn't it? Now, there is the old argument, how much money is enough money? And I'm pretty sure that Joshua said that at one point. As he's grown up, he didn't come from a privileged background at all. And it would be the same for like Floyd Mayweather. He didn't grow up in a privileged background. But so of course, once you start making big money, you don't ask that question anymore. Do I have enough money now? Of course not. Everything is a challenge. It's about achieving goals. It's not necessarily about trying to put more money in the bank or top it up. It's about trying to beat your previous one. It just becomes a game. So to crack it in America, I don't think he needs to, because America is a dying sport over there, and it is unfortunate. Now, Joshua will ultimately have to go to America at some point. He's world champion. And to be world champion, you can't be exclusive to UK for every single fight of your career. Now, people say, well, our champion, for example, Wilder, he fought outside America. Well, not as champion, he hasn't. He fought once in the UK against Audley Harrison. Was that 2012, 2013, something like that, if I remember rightly, which was actually the very first time that I'd seen him. But outside of that, he's been to North America, and or he's been to South America. He's been to like Mexico and things like that. So technically, he hasn't left America, because if you want to go that route, you can say, well, Joshua has fought outside of his native of England. He's been to Cardiff in Wales. Okay, he's been to Scotland, and so he has fought outside England. But I get what they're saying. It's about being world champion. In other words, he should fight in America. He should fight in his heritage of Nigeria, parts of Africa, parts of South America, North America, all over the world, Australia even, Germany, other parts of Europe. He should do that. Absolutely. I totally agree with anybody who says he's world champion, so therefore he should travel. I totally agree with that, 100%. But I don't think America can be cracked right away. I don't think Joshua can go there and crack America. Amir Khan, very, very popular here in the UK, went to America to try and crack it. Failed miserably. He earned a lot of money, but he failed miserably. Joe Calzaghe, he went over there, he fought, was it Hopkins and Roy Jones Jr. Okay, so this was at the end of his career, maybe not enough time to really crack it, but ultimately he wasn't a huge name over there. And even though he's retired now, a few people know the name, but they may still not have seen him fight. Okay, and plenty of others in the past have tried doing it. Nigel Benn, he tried doing it, and James DeGale, of course. So it's very, very difficult to crack America when boxing isn't booming. So if boxing is booming, then yes, it's an easy transition. But for that to happen, they need American fighters to build their profile. So therefore, Joshua goes to America and takes on, say, a Wilder, takes on a Miller, takes on a Kalnacki or whoever. Okay, because otherwise, what's the point? For example, Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, you've already seen. There's only 3 weeks left to go to the fight, and was it 8,000 tickets sold out of 21,000? That is absolutely terrible. Who wants to go somewhere and perform in front of a couple of thousand when you can perform in front of 90,000? Nobody wants to do that. It's pointless, absolutely pointless. So Joshua needs the American guys to really boost the profile. The American boxing fans need to put it back into mainstream again in order to attract other fighters to go over there. Eddie Hearn's trying to do that, but obviously there's like a lot of resistance. It's almost like in America, they want boxing to be popular again, but they're unwilling to accept other participants. If you're not American, then you know what, we don't want you. Some of them have a bit of a race issue over there. If you're not black, we don't want you. It's that kind of thing, and it's a very, very poor mentality. So I don't think that Joshua going over there is needed. I really don't. I mean, he could fight in Germany. He could fight in Japan. I mean, Japan is booming. You crack Japan, then you are making it for life. Really. You really are. And it is unfortunate because, as I said, you don't even have to go back too far. 80s, 90s, early 2000s, boxing was booming in America. But of course, because the heavyweight scene dropped, and they didn't really have anybody after, say, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, etc., they then had to resort to the welterweights, divisions that are only popping really in America. They're not popping around the world. It's like people say that Errol Spence Jr., he's a big superstar, and no, he may be popular in America. Terence Crawford, popular in America, but outside of there, it's not. There is no global superstar. There just isn't. There really isn't. And unfortunately, there is a section of people who say, well, if we here in America don't know this person and this person's not popping, so therefore he's not a global superstar. Well, you see, America is not the center of the universe. Okay, just because it's not popping in America does not make it then it's not popping at all. Because it may be popping everywhere else in the world except America. America is not the front door stop and the back door stop. It just isn't. But yes, I totally agree with Sugar Ray Leonard in the fact that Joshua should go to America. But to become a global superstar, does he need America? No. I think America needs Joshua more than Joshua needs America. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Of course, you drop me yours. And as I said, I know a lot of people still have the old school. So, of course, they still remember, depending on how old you are, will remember Mike Tyson in his heyday. We'll remember Evander Holyfield. We'll remember the George Foreman comeback and the Riddick Bows and even before then with Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and George Foreman, etc., from like the very first stint of George Foreman, of course. Then that is no more. That is gone. It's finished now. There is no era in America right now, as far as we can tell. And we know that based on the gates, based on pay-per-views. We can see it's just not popping. A new sport, or a relatively new sport in the UFC or the MMA, is overtaking boxing. A new sport. That's how insignificant boxing is over there. It's what? A 10th popular sport. So what is the point in Joshua going over there? What's the point in anybody going over there? Eddie Hearn is only going over there because he sees it as a sleeping giant and he has this illusion that he can resurrect it again. Maybe he can, and hopefully he can. And if you're in America, you should be going, yes, we support you, Eddie. We may not like you, but we support you because we want boxing to be a booming sport in America. And if you can help do that, great, we support you. But he doesn't have the support, and Americans don't have the boxing fans to do it. They're okay to watch it on free TV, but they're not okay to pay for it. And ultimately, that's the era that we live in. Boxers want to get paid. Boxers don't want to be on free TV anymore. That's why they want the pay-per-view. If they can't get the pay-per-view, they'll look to DAZN, where it's a guaranteed amount of money. Massive money. If Showtime can't provide that, they'll look to Top Rank. So anyway, I don't go on too long about it, but that is Sugar Ray's statement. So Sugar Ray Leonard, of course, as I said, he has witnessed the UK boom of Joshua. He has been to Cardiff to watch Parker, so he would have witnessed the atmosphere, of course. But can they replicate that? Can Joshua or any fighter on the planet go to any stadium in America and fill it out? If they can, then they've really cracked it, because seriously, I mean, we have big stadiums over here, but you look in America, these things are humongous. These things are like Colosseum, some of them, the football arenas. They're absolutely massive. And if you guys can fill out one of those, you've really, really cracked it. But is Joshua going to be the man to do it? Unlikely. I think to fill out an arena like that, you need a popping American. That's just my opinion. But is there going to be one? I don't know. At the minute, there's a few that could potentially do it, but will they? I don't know. Just don't know. Anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click that thumbs up. Subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.